So, I'd like to talk about Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro today. I read the book and completely affected by this guy, the butler named Stephen, because his demeanor, his character, I don't identify with him, but still very strong sympathy with him tremendously affected my life, I would say. I think essentially this particular butler is he cannot express his own feeling as he wants to do that, but he would not divulge his own feeling to anyone because his work ethics and culture at that time, society, taught him how to behave in the society where you follow this working code, working ethics, and if you do the best you can, you become a very good example of, the perfect example of this good citizen or good countryman or whatever. I think at that times when people had a gorgeous house and they have a servant and butlers and everybody else. I think that existed during that time only in Britain. I don't know where else that kind of a life existed. But anyway, the butler as a profession, I think well established, and you want to become the best butler you can think of. And so that particular profession, for example, I didn't have any knowledge, I didn't have any perceptions of what it is, but this particular book, and also Downton Abbey, of course, Mr. Carson is a great butler in the Downton Abbey, tells me, something that butler has to be that way, but butler has to be perfect, and otherwise he cannot do his job. And he is very well respected by other people, being that way. So Stephen is pretty much like I would say a little bit off, and the personality is off from the regular person, and a regular you and me probably, because he is a little bit I wouldn't say abnormal, but this repressed feeling is a little bit too much for most of the readers, I think. And but he is not aware of that particular demeanor of himself, and his life continues, and and he feels happy because he has been living that way all along. And when he retires or when he gets older, you start to think, is this life could be, okay, and he wonder. He's smart enough person, and he wondered, is it life was okay? If this life could be, I worked for this person who is a Nazi sympathizer, and is that okay? I met this Miss Kenton a long time ago. I liked her, and I would like to tell her that I liked her, right? Okay, but he think about it, all these things, but his behavior is not going along with these thoughts, and he end up with, pretty much like a very textbook quoted the profession's life, and for that I cried because it's in me, everything like that. It's not that unusual, and I think for everybody's mind, it's not unusual, that particular feeling either. So I think many people consider this fiction as number one list of Kazuo Ishiguro's, and I completely agree. This is a beautifully written book to begin with. His English writing, I could say a little bit more about more, professional term to describe his writing, but I'm just a layman. Just started to read his work later in my life, and I think his writing is beautiful. And I grew up as a completely like a Japanese, ethics Japanese code of, the ethics, I would say, and you have to work very hard. You have to persevere, and you have to study hard to become somebody. And I was taught that way, and so when you're younger, you feel that that particular thing is coming from society, coming from all the other respectable people, give you advice, how you have to live, how do you have to do in this particular occasion, in this occasion, and so you follow, and sometimes very, very difficult situation, but they still advise you, yeah, you better do this, you want to do this. And even today, I think many successful people, I would say, would tell you, yeah, in this kind of a situation, you want to behave, this way. You to be rich, for example, or to be more successful in your life. And I partly agree to those ideas. Of course, you want to become a happy person, and you want to make other people be happy. But at the same time, I think you lose your own personal happiness. You sacrifice some of those. And even though that personal happiness is like a goofing off and or lazy, or watch TV all day long, or read books all day long, you feel like you shouldn't be doing that because that's not what you're expected to do. And so I think, after reading this book, I felt like you really have to think about it, even though you don't have a solution to that. Of course, there are social demands and families and your own happiness, dictates you how you want to live. But at the same time, I think you are sacrificing the joy of your own life. And I feel like sometimes, it's one way to live is to just follow your instinct and not listening to others, whatever it is, and you want to go for it. I think that's I felt. And it's far-stretched, probably most of everybody's opinion about this book, but other than that, I felt this particular book is beautiful, very emotional, and you cried when you're reading, and but that's a good cry because it's like a cleansing type of cry, and you don't get depressed yourself or you don't feel unhappy or anything. And so I, strongly recommend people to read this book, and also I commend Kazuo Ishiguro's power to be able to produce this type of work. They made Merchant Ivory, made a film version of this. This particular film is also very, very beautiful, and I think I have a book, but I don't know where it is right now. And you wanna, maybe after reading books, I think you wanna see this movie. Emma Thompson and Anthony Hopkins, those two characters are wonderful there, and James Ivory's direction with cinematographies and everything. Beautiful, beautiful film, and it's, I would say, feels good film of all time. And so I strongly recommend that you rent this film and watch the movie. And so that's my few cents on Christmas Day, and I hope that Ishiguro is gonna come up. What I understand is that somebody commented on my last video that he's publishing a new book in March 2021, and I'm hoping that wow, I have to be kind of prepared for that. So okay, so that's my few cents today. Bye.